A couple stumbled upon 3 white puppies in a cardboard box, and what happened next was nothing short of miraculous. Their lives were about to change in ways they never could have imagined. It was a chilly morning in late autumn, the kind where the streets are quiet and the sky hangs heavy with clouds. On the edge of a sleepy suburban neighborhood, a battered cardboard box sat abandoned near a lamppost. Inside the box, huddled together for warmth, were 3 tiny white puppies, barely a few weeks old. Their soft fur was slightly dirty, their eyes round and confused, and their tiny bodies trembling from both cold and fear. Taped to the front of the box was a piece of cardboard with 5 words scrawled in thick black marker. Can't keep them. That morning, David and Emily Carter were on their usual walk. Married for over 10 years, they were known in the neighborhood as a kind, quiet couple. But behind their warm smiles was a silent ache. Despite many years of trying, they had not been able to have children. Treatments, hospital visits, tears, prayers, nothing had worked. Yet every Sunday morning, Emily still lit a candle at church, silently whispering for a miracle. When Emily spotted the box, she froze. "David, puppies," she murmured, rushing over. David sighed, already knowing what was coming. We can't," but as he looked into the box and saw 3 pairs of pleading eyes, his heart softened. The puppies were so small, so helpless. "I'll carry the box," he said quietly. And just like that, the Carters became a family of 5. The puppies were named Snow, Cloud, and Pearl, each reflecting the pure white color of their fur. They were energetic, affectionate, and quickly filled the Carters' home with laughter. Snow had a habit of chasing shadows on the wall. Cloud loved to nap on the windowsill. And Pearl, the smallest, refused to sleep unless cuddled between David and Emily. For the first time in years, the house felt alive. The pitter-patter of tiny paws echoed through the halls, and the sound of playful barks replaced the once deafening silence. David found himself smiling more, his eyes crinkling at the corners as he watched the puppies tumble over each other in their clumsy games. Emily's laughter, a sound that had become all too rare, now rang out regularly as she played with their new furry family members. And then, just a month later, something incredible happened. Something that would change their lives forever. Emily stood in the kitchen, holding a test in her hand, her body shaking. "David," she called, tears streaming down her face. I think I'm pregnant." He rushed to her, speechless. They stared at each other in disbelief before falling into each other's arms, overwhelmed with emotion.
Wow.
After more than a decade of heartbreak, the impossible had happened. They called it a miracle. But in their hearts, they believed the puppies had something to do with it, as if those abandoned little souls had brought magic with them. The joy that the puppies had brought into their lives, the laughter and love that now filled their home, had somehow opened a door they thought had been forever closed. As Emily's belly grew, so did the puppies. They seemed to sense the change in her, becoming even more protective and attentive. Snow would often rest his head gently on her stomach, as if listening to the tiny heartbeat within. Cloud became Emily's constant shadow, never straying far from her side. And Pearl, still the smallest, would curl up in Emily's lap during her afternoon naps, a warm and comforting presence. 9 months later, their baby boy Lucas was born, healthy, strong, and with the brightest blue eyes. Snow, Cloud, and Pearl waited outside the nursery door the night he came home, pacing gently and whining whenever Lucas cried. It was as if they knew their family was now complete, and they had a new, precious member to protect. As the baby grew, the bond between him and the dogs became inseparable. They guarded his crib at night, lay beside him during tummy time, and barked joyfully whenever he laughed. On his first steps, all 3 dogs trotted alongside him like loyal knights, ready to catch him if he stumbled. Emily often said, "He has 4 guardian angels." 3 with Paws, and it was true. The love and protection the dogs showed Lucas was extraordinary. They were patient as he learned to crawl, then walk, tolerating his clumsy pats and tugs on their fur with gentle understanding. As Lucas began to babble, his first words after Mama and Dada were attempts at the dogs' names. The Carters' home was filled with a symphony of sounds. Lucas's giggles, the dog's playful barks, and the constant chatter of a growing toddler telling stories to his furry siblings. Family walks became a daily adventure, with Lucas toddling between his parents, the three white dogs forming a protective circle around them. Years passed, but the Carters never forgot the morning they found that box. They never found out who left the puppies, but they would always be grateful. Because in the moment they opened their home to three abandoned lives, something greater opened for them. Hope, healing, and the family they had always dreamed of. As Lucas grew older, the story of how Snow, Cloud, and Pearl came into their lives became a beloved bedtime tale. Emily would recount how they found the box, and Lucas would snuggle closer, surrounded by his canine protectors, eyes wide with wonder at the twist of fate that brought them all together. The Carters' story spread through their community, touching hearts and inspiring others. They became advocates for animal adoption, sharing their experience of how rescuing three small puppies had, in turn, rescued them from their own sadness and loneliness. David and Emily watched in awe as Lucas grew, his personality blossoming alongside his canine companions. He was a kind and empathetic child, always ready to help others, a trait they attributed in part to growing up with the loving example set by Snow, Cloud, and Pearl. As the years went by, the dogs grew older, their muzzles graying and their steps slowing. But their love for their family remained as strong as ever. They were there for Lucas's first day of school, his first soccer game, and every milestone in between. And when the inevitable day came that they had to say goodbye to their beloved pets, one by one, the Carters grieved deeply, but found solace in the incredible journey they had shared. The impact of those three white puppies extended far beyond their lifetimes. They had not just been pets. They had been the catalyst for a family's transformation, the bearers of unexpected joy, and the silent architects of a miracle. Looking back, Emily and David marveled at how a single act of kindness, taking in three abandoned puppies, had set in motion a chain of events that fulfilled their deepest wishes. They had opened their hearts to three tiny lives in need, and in return, they received the greatest gift of all, the family they had always longed for. Their story became a testament to the power of compassion, the unexpected ways in which love can enter our lives, and the profound impact that even the smallest creatures can have on the human heart. For the Carters, those three white puppies weren't just pets. They were the key that unlocked a future filled with love, laughter, and the pitter-patter of both paws and tiny feet.